Hey, fourth graders, it's Miss Levitt. I'm back, and we're going to finish up talking about comparing fractions this week. Happy Friday. Let's get started. Okay, let me take you to the lesson. All right, so here we go. We're looking more at same and different. How do we know if the fraction is the same or if it's different? How do we know which one's larger by looking at it? So we're going to, well, you can tell by looking at it, but we're going to talk about how to tell without having a picture maybe. All right, here we go. All right, so let's start with Ethan ate 2 parts of his sandwich. What fraction of the sandwich did he eat? So here we're going to count, and remember that when we count, however many parts are in the whole thing is what our denominator is. So let's see if we can find one that has 1, 2, 3. So if we look, our denominator, this has a denominator of 3. This one has a denominator of 5, so that's too much. This one has a denominator of 3, so it's one of these two. We say that he ate 2 parts. So if he ate 2 parts, he ate these 2 parts. So what is this fraction? If you said 2/3, you are correct. Good job. Okay. Says Kayla ate 2 parts of her sandwich. What fraction of a sandwich did she eat? Okay, we've got 2 of them that have 2 on it. 1, 2. So it could be it's one of these. Let's count the parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This one has 5. This one has 5, but this is the only one that Kayla ate 2 parts. So that would be her part. Okay. So now our question is, who ate more of the sandwich? Okay. So let's look. Ethan ate 2/3 of the sandwich. Let's look at how much he ate and look at how much Kayla ate. Now remember what we said before. The more pieces you divide it into, the smaller the pieces get. So if you're sharing this sandwich with just 2 of your friends, then it's just 3 of you trying to eat this sandwich. But if you've got 4 friends you're sharing it with, that's 5 of you trying to eat this sandwich. That's not very many. I mean, if everybody's gonna get an even part, then they're not gonna be very big, okay? So which one of these is bigger? We can look right here and see that this 2/3 is way bigger than this 2/5. So who had more? If you said Ethan, you are correct. So the smaller the denominator, the larger the piece, as long as your numerator is the same.
Hey there, Zerner. Let's take a closer look at this one. Kayla, you and Ethan both ate 2 parts of your sandwiches. Why is the amount that you ate different?
Our sandwiches were the same size, but the parts of the sandwiches were not the same size. My sandwich was divided into more pieces than Ethan's, and each piece was smaller. So eating 2 pieces of my sandwich is less than eating 2 pieces of Ethan's sandwich.
That's right. Even though you both had 2 pieces, the pieces were not the same size. The size of the parts matters. Keep that in mind during today's lab.
Remember that, I think we've said this before, that when you're comparing 2 fractions, they have to be of the same whole. Okay, so you couldn't compare 2/4, 2/5, 2/3, sorry, of a pizza and 2/5 of a cookie, because those are going to be 2 different size pieces. So you have to be like you can share 2/5 of compare 2/5 of a pizza and 2/3 of a pizza, the same size pizza. But you cannot compare. So make sure they have to be the same size, which is why we look here and these are the same. Okay. So let's shade these models to compare these fractions. 3/4. So let's shade 3/4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, and it's 4 in the whole thing. So let's shade 3/8. Let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're going to share 1, 2, 3. Okay. All right. Let's keep going. It says select the larger fraction. It's harder to see when they're side by side, but if you look right here, these pieces are bigger than these pieces. So you have the same amount shaded. You both have 3 shaded, but these pieces are bigger. So we would say 3/4 is bigger than 3/8 because we only divided this into 4 and we divided this into 8.
Ethan, are the shaded parts equivalent?
3/4 and 3/8 are not equivalent because the parts are not the same size. 1/4 is larger than 1/8, so 3/4 must be larger than 3/8.
That's right. The number of shaded parts in each picture is the same, but the size of each part is different. So the shaded parts are not equal.
Remember that equivalent means equal. All right, here we go. Complete the sentence to compare the fractions. 1/4 is, let's see what our words are, larger or smaller than 1/8. What would you say 3/4 is? 1/4, sorry. So look at this piece and look at this piece right here. So we're going to look at this piece and look at this piece. And if you look at those two pieces, you see that 1/4 is larger than 1/8. So 3/4 is larger than 3/8. Okay, let's clear all those. All right. All right, so here we go. Shade the models to compare these fractions. We're going to shade 4/10. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to shade 4/5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now looking at it, you can see this one's, you've shaded in more here than you shaded in here. So when we get to the next one, which one's larger, 4/5 or 4/10? Let's look right here. We shaded these into 10. We divided this into 10 pieces, so the pieces are going to be smaller. So 4/5 is bigger. Okay, complete the sentence to compare the fractions. 1/10 is blank than 1/5. Is it smaller or larger than 1/5? So we're looking at this shape right here and this shape right here. And we say that 1/10 is smaller than 1/5. So 4/10 is smaller than 4/5. Shade the model to compare these fractions. Same thing, 3/6. So let's shade 3/6 and 3/9. 1, 2, 3. All right, that's what we did. All right, select the larger fraction, 3/6 or 3/9. Which one is larger? We would say 3/6 is larger because the pieces are larger. Not a whole lot larger, but a little bit larger. Okay. Let's complete the sentence to compare the fractions. 1/6 is smaller, larger, 3/9 or 3/6 than 1/9. So is it smaller or larger than 1/9? If you said larger, you are correct. 3/6 and 3/9. So blank is the larger fraction. Which is a larger fraction? 3/9 or 3/6? You should have said 3/6. Which is larger? Just looking, 2/7 and 2/4. Remember what we said. Which one of these numbers is larger, 7 or 4? Okay, so if 2/7, the pieces are much smaller because you have to divide more pieces in there. So 2/4 is larger. Okay, let's build and shade it. Let's build it, 2/4. So how many pieces are going to be in the whole thing if we're doing 2/4? Right, 4. 1, 2, well now there's 3, and there's 4. Okay, let's go down here, 7th. We need to make this into 7 pieces. So that's, oops, let's not do that. Let's do this. This is what I meant to do. So that's 2 pieces, 3 pieces, 4 pieces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces, and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pieces. Okay, so let's shade it. Now, if you notice right here, these pieces, we had to divide these more times because we had to divide it 7 times. So we had to divide it more times. So that makes these pieces smaller. But let's look, let's shade 2 and let's shade 2. And this is bigger. We're going to look at that in a minute. Okay. All right, here it says Isabella and Ben each bought a 1 liter water bottle. Isabella drank 3/5 of her water and Ben drank 3/8 of his water. Who drank more? Let's do the same thing. Let's underline what we know. They both have the same holes. They both bought a 1 liter water bottle. Isabella drank 3/5. Ben drank 3/8 of his water. Okay. So as long as we are comparing the same whole, which we are, 1 liter is more. Okay. 1 liter is the same. As long as we're sharing the same whole, then we can compare the fractions. Okay. So if she drank 3/5, what are we going to divide this into? Right, we're going to divide it into fifths because remember the denominator tells me what the piece is divided into. 1, so that's 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then Ben is being divided into, right here it tells us 8ths. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. 1, 2, let's check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That is correct. Okay, so it says shade it. So Isabella drank 3 and Ben drank 3. And that's all we do right there. Okay, let's clear. Okay. Who drank more water? Isabella or Ben? And look right here, there's only 5 in here and there's 8 in here. So we know that this one is more because it was the same amount because they both drank 3. There you go. All right, boys and girls, one thing to remember is the larger the denominator, the smaller the piece. So when you get ready to do your worksheet that goes with this, just make sure that you remember that the larger the denominator, the smaller the piece. All right, have a great day.